All right, guys, we are here on the Toast. I am excited to be here. My name is Doug Brunner, and I don't know what number we're on because we seem to do them often, and they don't always come live, but this one will. I am excited to be here with the two brothers of Merced, California, people I've known for quite a while, Ben Migliazzo and Matt Migliazzo, and I'm excited to have you guys here. They are ag family from a long time ago, showed cattle with them. They probably have the best Holstein genetics in all of California, maybe, self-proclaimed, I don't know. But I know they did, or still do, but they have both taken different routes in ag, which I think is really cool. I got to talk to Matt before on, number one, his care for, he said how excited he was to do this with his brother, as well as how their life has taken a change from how he grew up to where he is now. And I would say Ben's been busy. I know he's in harvest right now. So he was grabbing a few phone calls. And I'm excited to hear, you know, where your guys' life has changed in the last 20. It's probably been 20 years now, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it changes every day, right?
Yeah,
I mean, right now, everything's changing.
No, but
life-changing
life-changing carears, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No.
So let's
hardcore ag.
Let's start with Matt over here. Introduce yourself. Tell us about you're married. Just give us a little update. I know you're married. I know you got kids.
Yeah.
I know you own Migliazzo Construction.
Yeah.
A thriving construction company in Merced. Not just Merced, all over the valley, building dairies. Building barns. He's done work for me, stanchions. That was way beyond. I don't think I can get a hold of him now. He's doing some big things. Ben is with Live Oak Farms.
Right, correct.
You got the hat on, so I better not screw it up with the Jim Pauley family, a large farming family out of Merced.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And you've been managing there for how many years now?
4 years now.
4 years. Okay.
Right.
And you were doing what right before that?
I was managing a strawberry raspberry nursery.
Well, and what that was
in Belico.
Belico. Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're both on to new things. So, Matt, let's dive in. Tell us about your family.
Yeah.
And a little bit on that, and then I want to definitely dive into your guys' history. I don't know which one of you guys want to touch on that. I'm sure you can together.
Oh yeah, we can tag team that there.
Sure.
I got
You never fought on the dairy, did you?
No, we've never laid a hand on each other in our
Brotherly
life.
love.
Yeah. I think we almost got a fist fight on the way in here.
Good.
But so my name's Matt, right? Obviously, and I have a construction company, MIG Construction. I started it 15 years ago. I had the construction company 15 years ago, middle of this August. So we're hitting a big milestone. Started that thing when I was 25 years old. Your Uncle Mike actually gave my first big shot, on a big project, so that's great. I'm married. I have a beautiful wife named Ashley, two wonderful boys, Max and Evan, 8 and almost 6. He thinks he's 18, right? Those kind of boys. And God definitely blessed me with some boys that are just like me, right? So I don't know, I could take it any way. If anybody knows me from my past, it's going to be a fun ride for the next few years.
You're an altar boy.
I was head altar boy. So yeah, grew up in Catholic school, head altar boy. That's usually the start of a good career right there. So we got that going on. But I grew up on a dairy, which was the best thing anybody, and growing up on a dairy, the things that are instilled in young in your childhood, you can't take those away. These are hard-working ethics and, everyday ass whoopings that get you out of bed to, go feed cows, and got to do it with my brother, right? And when I was, both my brothers, I have a younger brother named John. I've got to give him a shout out.
Yep.
He's a lawyer in Fresno now. He took a different career path, and he's amazing.
Very smart guy.
But we grew up on the dairy, and I had this huge passion for construction that my dad actually instilled in me to build. And I loved everything about a dairy. Just didn't really love the cows.
And your dad is now with you.
My dad's with me. He retired from the dairy, and he
cool.
came. I had the business about 4 or 5 years when he retired from the dairy, and He was looking for something to do, so I said, I got a perfect hole for you to dig with a shovel, and he's been digging a hole for me for about 12 years, so that's great.
How deep is he now in that hole?
It's deep. It's my dad's amazing. It's a blessing.
He's a cool dude.
And, people get to work in the family farm and family life and family dairy, and you get to work with your dad every single day. Do we get along? Hell no, not even close. But we still have that love and respect for each other that makes it fun every day. So that's probably every family farm. People probably relate to that pretty good.
Got it. So Ben, Matt went the construction way. Now, why did you go into farming versus the dairy?
Well, Doug, thanks for having me.
And thank you for reaching out to me.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing. So, I went the farm route. I had a little note my mom showed me when I was 3 years old. What do you want to be when I grow up? I'm going to be a farmer. And I loved getting on the cats with Myron Brandon. Back in the day, just sitting there falling asleep in his lap while the cat's dripping or whatever in the field. So I always loved that aspect of it. And, I met you at Fresno, and both of us were kind of like, get him off the dairy. What are we doing? I remember that conversation one time with you, and I just, I was going to be a PCA, want to do that. But, I like the dirt. I like tractors. I like dealing with the people. So I kind of went that route, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. So, but that's why I went that route. But I always was on the farming side of the dairy. I like that side of it.
So you were doing the farming when you were young, though, right?
I tried to do as much as I could. Tried to skip school, get on the tractor. Oh, Dad, I got to work all night. Can't go to school tomorrow. In elementary school, that's pretty bad. But anyway, that's how I got to the farming side. So my uncles still have the dairy. I was raised by my uncles, my dad, my mom. Shout out to my grandparents on both sides. Hardworking people, and still my parents still to us, and my dad said, hey, you know what, do what you love, because that's all you can do, do what you love. So that's what we're doing. And I'm married also.
Yeah, you were just telling me something exciting about what your wife has going on.
So my wonderful wife Bree purchased a store, Helen Louise in Merced. It's like 75 years in Merced. I think it's the second longest standing boutique in the country.
Wow. So
we bought it just before COVID hit. It's been a little tough. So anyone out there that wants to go support local, go see her. She'll give you a personal shopping experience like you've never had in this area. She's awesome at it. She loves it. It's her passion. And not only that, she raises two awesome boys when I'm working all day. They're the same age as Matt's boys. I have Luca, who's turning 8 in a week, and I have Gio, who just turned 5, and they're awesome, amazing kids. Trying to hopefully we can just instill that work ethic and passion for whatever they do, like we were when we were growing up. So that's kind of a little quick summary, but we had a lot of good influences in our life growing up.
For sure.
even on each other. I mean, we've, when Matt started his business, I called him out on a little tiny welding job just to get him some work, or whatever. Just, we're always bouncing stuff off each other. And I think I landed up with Live Oak because of Matt, working with Bob, Jim Pauly. And that's how I ended up out there, really, in all reality. So,
yeah, we were born with that family aspect, right? I mean, family's tight. We, it always has this bumps and this and that, but we've always had each other's back, right? And then now we got these kids that are the same age. Dude, it is a wild show to watch
Both
when you get them all
boys,
in the same room. It's
does
insane.
John have any kids?
John has 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the only. So Migliazzos don't make girls, right? It just doesn't happen. I don't know why. My brother John, first girl in what was it, 70 years?
90 straight years on our
90
branch
straight
of the
years
tree.
of that line was all boys, 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 4 boys, 4 boys, 3 boys, 2 boys, and then all of a sudden, my brother John, he's got the magic touch. I don't know what's going on, but
I'm sure your mom was happy.
Oh, yeah, everybody was. We're tired of seeing all these boys all over the place, man.
So you touched something I would say I personally, just like you guys, blessed, got to grow up on a dairy. Freaking awesome experience. When you were young, sometimes you wish you were in the city, right? Like all the other kids. But when you look back now, you're just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, that's where I live.
No way. No way now.
Yeah. And so that's awesome. I got to be instilled and grow up next to my grandparents and work next to my dad, just like you guys. And I know the way, Matt, your business is been booming, and it didn't come by you just sleeping in every day and deciding, oh, this is just going to happen for me, right?
Yeah,
I actually remember you when you were bidding on. I mean, I've been gone from my dad's dairy for now 7 years, and I was still probably there for 3 years, and just when you were probably only 4 or 5 years in business and bidding on stuff, and I mean, your crews. It just seems like now I see you everywhere. It's like
I got a great team, man. I got a great team, and it started with great families, right, and great customers and great things that were going on, and I always showed up with my hat on backwards, usually in shorts and like my boots on. I never changed who I was the whole time, but the product would speak for itself because I love to build, right?
How's your life changed since your business grown from day one, where I'm sure you did everything hands-on, right? Were you a one-man crew right day one, or?
So day one, yeah. So day one, it started off with me, and I had 2 guys, and day one actually started with a welder in the back of a lowered S10 because I thought that was cool, right? And I just started doing some welding jobs on the side while I was still working at the dairy, right? So I went back to the dairy after, doing ironwork in the Bay Area. I've been all over the place. I was doing construction. When I turned 18, I said I want to do construction. I didn't, I went to Merced College. I was there for 27 years or something like that. And I finally got, my degree there. But in that time, I was doing construction. And when I started with a little welder, putting around, doing side welding. And then I was really dabbling. It was like 2005. So 2004, I was really dabbling in the house market, right? We were just killing it, like remodeling these houses. People pay whatever because they're just flipping these houses for a ridiculous amount of money. And that's where I kind of got started, but I just did not, I can't do residential. It's hard, right? I mean, residential is a different beast. It's more of wants than needs, right? And I'm all about giving people what they need and instead of what they want. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's not satisfying if I can't give people what they want, but I give them what they need for sure. But, it just kind of grew from there. And then dairies, to be a good dairy contractor, there's some great dairy contractors out there. There's like a guy by the name of Steve Miguel out of Turlock. And Steve's amazing, right? He does some beautiful work. Mike Miranda, MC Dairy Construction. Those guys do some great work. Carl Fick, KJ Dairy Construction, one of my mentors. It takes a special talent to know what cows, right? To know how to build around cows, know how to make lanes and cow psychology. And, I had it growing up on the dairy. Just kind of knew where to go and what path to take. And it worked out really well because, you could take what you know naturally
and implement it.
And it comes so easy. Like, what do you mean you don't know a cow can't go through that gate? Come on, and look how obvious this is. But you take for granted what you actually know, right? And that kind of grew into, 2-man crews, 3-man crews, and I got my first freestyle barn for the late Henry Tavares. He just passed away, and he gave me my first freestyle barn, which was a very big deal for me. I'm 25 years old, just got my contractor's license, looking at this, 800-foot freestyle barn. Like, okay, I have 3 guys that probably don't know how to read, and we're gonna have to figure this out. And we just dived in, and it was great. We dove in and really knocked it out of the park, and it went great. And then from there, your Uncle Mike was next, and then it just kept growing and growing. Then I got into the steel building industry, right? And the steel buildings was something I was doing as a hobby. I do a shop here and there. Then that exploded into something great and something that I love, and it's turned into something really wonderful. So yeah, the company's grown from like all these different veins, right?
Yeah, that is. So that's fun. It
is fun.
And being in companies like I've been in companies like yourself, and not exactly, but it's just like you're on to the next little thing, and you didn't know that would, like I'm gonna start building steel buildings and this, and then maybe a house here and there, and it's like sometimes you got to be a chameleon, right? And you got to wear a different hat at different times.
Well, having the diversity, right? Diversity in everything that we do. Farming is diverse every single day. You got to be able to know how to do everything, right? And the diversity in construction, I wasn't specialized in concrete or specialized in. And I love concrete. I would do concrete every single day if I could. It's one of my weird quirks, right? I love concrete, but I wasn't specialized in everything. So we can kind of get, when the market turned, houses started crashing, dairy industry was doing well. Dairy industry took a turn, beginning of that, 2000s there, and things, or 2010, things started changing around a little bit. We got back into more commercial and residential, and we're able to keep flowing. We never lost a flow.
Yep.
And it's great, you know, and I love what I do. So it's easy, right? It's easy when you love what you do. You can chase anything you want.
It makes it easy to get out of bed in the morning, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just happy.
Well, it's hard to get out of bed.
Right?
I mean, my wife makes it hard to get out of bed in the morning,
I
but
hear
it
you.
works easy, right?
hear
It's
you
one
on
of
that.
those deals.
So, Ben, you are with Live Oak, a specialized farming company, a little different than most.
91 years in business.
Wow.
As a family.
Yep.
So
Little, they kind of do a little of everything, right? And
yeah, they do a little everything. So big shout out to the Jim Pauly family. They're amazing people. Great to work for, work with, talk to. You know, they're always there for their people. They support LeGrand up and down, left and right. They support the community. It's just a great place to be. Everything I've always wanted to do. Everything we were always taught. You know, as a kid, you know, give back. So that's something that they do, and that's why I appreciate working for them.
That's awesome.
But so we grow fresh market tomatoes, fresh market bells, jalapenos, some cannery tomatoes, alfalfa, corn, white corn, silage corn, wheat hay, of course almonds. So and then we have the packing shed there in the Grand. So
Are you involved with that?
I don't do as much with the packing shed. So I'm kind of Bob's right hand on the ranch side.
Okay.
And shout out to Mike Marchini too. He just retired this year after 26 or 27 years with Live Oak, who, you know, and he was a good mentor to me just for a few years I was with him. So yeah, it's awesome out there. I mean, it's really a good community. Matt does a lot of work out there. I see him out there almost as much as I see anybody else, it seems like. But you know, they're great growers, and they're just great to work with. And I hear that, you know, from people that have worked with them for 30 years, 40 years, you know, that 40 years ago, like, oh yeah, you know, this one time when I worked with Bob, I grew him something, and they were just awesome to work with, you know, or whatever, you know. So that's where I'm at, and I just love the farming and love the people, you know, I mean.
What? So yeah, I do not. I know Dominic Jim Pauly, but I've met Mr. Jim Pauly, Bob, a few times, and I've heard nothing but great things about that family. They seem like a pillar of LeGrand, right?
Absolutely.
They seem like you don't stay in business for 91 years and not do something right, right?
Right.
And ever changing, right? They're in a lot of different markets. They must know what they're doing, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know people have grown for them and really respect Mr. Jim Pauly and say he's a straight up guy. So that's the most important thing in going to work somewhere, right? Is really enjoying the people you're around.
Right.
Now, on that job, I grow, you know, tomatoes, but nothing specialized like you guys in the day. What's the hardest thing? I'm sure labor is, right?
Yeah. So the hardest thing, of course, all the new regulations, all the paperwork, you know, the spraying, the people, the wages, you know, all these ever-changing environments in California that how do we keep up? You know, that's the biggest question. You know, a company that's been in 91 years, and we're sitting there scratching our heads. How do we keep up? Nobody's paying any more for their produce. No, we're not getting a whole lot more for our tomatoes and our bell
costing
peppers.
more.
But everything is rising.
Yeah.
So
Construction costs.
construction, yeah, our contractors raises prices
Don't pay
on
that
us
guy.
too.
Just don't pay him.
So I don't think we will. I don't think we have. I think we need to just hold it.
yeah.
So, but no, it's just I mean, and we're more labor intense.
Yep.
Because of the fresh market,
Yep.
all hand picked.
For sure.
You know, and then almonds, you know, obviously taking a dive a little bit because of the projections this year, and I'm hoping that it bounces back, and then I'm sure COVID's hurting us on the exports. So, you know, there's a lot of challenges that guys our age are going to have to figure out, just like the generation before us had their issues to figure out. They did awesome. You know, the generation before us really took agriculture to a whole new level, right?
Yep.
So now we're on a different stage. Now we're going to have to go with the different times and figure out different ways, technology, or if it's efficiencies.
You use a lot of technology? I know
not
you've called
enough.
me on a few things
Not enough.
before. I mean, are you guys starting to get into automation or just any different program or
We're
ways-
we're trying a few things here and there. We're trying some different types of record keeping, with technology.
Okay.
I've done a little bit with series imaging and Matt over there.
Your production lines have gotten like pretty automated.
Yeah, so our production lines are starting to be more automated. We're just trying to find different ways to be efficient, really.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, how to make it easier on pickers, how to set up the field differently, and just it's just not the usual, like, this is how we've been doing it. You can't do it that way anymore.
So how does your team plan? Like, I mean, is it a yearly? You guys sit down and evaluate the year before, or is it?
We do all that, but sometimes it's like we got to make a decision today, and then we'll try something, and if it's in the heat of the season, it's still, we're not dying from it, so let's just keep going. But let's review. We've been really pushing, like, okay, this is a problem, check mark it, let's throw it on the agenda for the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So now wintertime is now going to be busier than harvest, I think. So so just to get these things figured out. But we're automating.
Planning for 2020 was not that was not a
nobody
one
expected.
that
so
was
we didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Fresh market, we are seeing some of the effects of the food service industry being hurt right now, especially with schools not being able to come back.
Yep.
And no events, I mean, I'm seeing the retail side, by the way, but on the farming, on the sales side, it's just been it's kind of a weird year pricing wise.
Mm-hmm.
Some things up, some things down, some things fast, some things slow. There's no reading. We don't know what to do. Do we make the decision? Do we invest in something in a year like this, or do we hold off?
Mm-hmm.
Do we buy this piece of equipment because we don't know what the fall's going to look like, right?
If they're gonna grow it again or have demand for it,
or well, we've planted all these acres, and what if everyone decides, we're not buying any more tomatoes, or we're not, because most of our food goes to food service. I mean, that's the biggest industry. I mean, retail's great, but there's only so much retail to be had.
Got it.
There's only so much floor space. But you think of all the restaurants, all the sporting events, all the parties, everything that you buy tomatoes or bell peppers or jalapeno, all these things you buy for, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So, and then also it's even hard on the people, everyone's nervous. Everyone's a little bit scared of it and, don't know what to do. And so it's been a really challenging, different year, but it's still a good year, but it's been a different year.
Yeah. What's your favorite crop to grow out of all those?
Oh gosh. It
depends if you want an easy day or a hard day.
Depends. Yeah, depends on how many people I want to deal with that day. So, but the bell peppers are fun. It's different. Tomatoes are pretty standard now. Everyone's. It's a more common crop. Peppers are hard to grow.
Are they?
I found that out. They're not easy. They're not as easy as tomatoes. Almonds are always a challenge in a different way. Mm-hmm. Trying to maximize that yield without but you got to do it a year ahead of time.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, that bell peppers are fun because they're harder to grow. The challenge, the challenge of it. But maybe
what about jalapenos? Is that like a
we
bell
grow?
pepper?
Yeah. So we grow them right in with the bell peppers. It's not a big program of ours.
What does that go to? Is that more like the canned or is that
service?
Food service.
Food
okay.
service, and some. We had a big discussion today just before we came over about our jalapenos, and we're comparing pictures of the jalapenos that come out of Mexico versus that come out of California, and they're like night and day. You never see the quality of our jalapenos are just amazing, and you don't see them very much on the shelf because Mexico's jalapenos are cheaper.
Yeah.
So all it comes down to price.
We fight that. So a lot of times, unfortunately, the ones that are on the shelf are from Mexico, and the good ones are going to food service that nobody really gets to see the finished product.
No. Yeah, a lot of them go to East Coast.
Yeah.
We have a few good buyers back in the East Coast that really like our quality. But the one thing about Live Oak, I can say that they do not settle for anything but high quality. That's a rule of we do not compromise quality over anything.
That's super cool.
So that's pretty cool. I think. I mean, it's kind of like the Migliazzo family on their cows, right? They don't qualify. They don't do anything unless the genetics are perfect. So
genetics.
You guys contract much out, or is it all in-house majority?
We do some contract. Okay. I mean, there's only we go and grow in different regions, but
Now on the contract, do you like go oversee those guys or
Yeah,
you,
so
you play-
Dominic
Okay.
does a lot of the vegetables.
Okay.
He's kind of in charge of the vegetables. So he'll go over the hill to Gilroy or maybe he'll go to Bakersfield or someone will help in these other regions that we try to get into. And I take care, Dominic takes care of most of the vegetables, but I take care of the grand farm, try to make sure everything at home is buttoned up before, so that's my task every day.
Cool. It's a very prestigious operation, and it's got to be an honor and fun to work with them every day.
Oh,
right?
yes, it is. It's easy to go to work. You get up early and you're there all day, and it's.
You live out there on the ranch? Or
No, I live in Atwater. So Matt and I are a couple miles apart. He wanted to move closer to me apparently. So.
Yeah, couldn't
He
get
missed
enough.
me.
Couldn't get enough.
So Matt, where as your company keeps growing, where do you see the construction industry going? It seems like it's hot right now. As you said, you can move, you can go, whether it's housing and stuff like that. But what kind of trends are you seeing right now? I know you're building dairy digesters, doing some of that. That's a big deal going right now. Where are you seeing your guys' future as a company?
Well,
really
the construction industry is hot right now. You're talking about, the uneasiness and stuff with farming, and construction's been really blowing up. Right now you can't get enough guys to fill your workload, right? That's as any industry, trying to fill the workload that's coming your way, and you got a lot of long-term customers that need something done like yesterday. Trying to fill those orders have been tough, but construction in the digester field, there's this whole realm of environmental protection, right? And environmental protection, not only, it sounds expensive, right? It is expensive because it's going to, development, right? These methane digesters we've been putting in, they have this California Hydrogen Highway. There's, I don't know the year, but there's going to be a requirement for a certain amount of cars to be on hydrogen in California, right? So this methane digester cluster that's going in Tulare and Merced, both of these are developing these hydrogen highway, fuel stations to take that, CH4, that methane, create hydrogen, and pull out the carbon, create hydrogen, and start up this whole fuel station, right? It's like California's new oil rush, right?
You think I've been told that tractors are probably going to run on that too. Is that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. They have some hydrogen engines going. It's efficient in the sense of
Cheaper?
I don't know.
Okay, I've been told that it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I've heard. It's a natural resource. These cows are making it all day long, right? And these digester clusters we're putting in are getting bigger and better, right? And we know that they have that new Merced cluster that's going in, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be pipelined to one facility and created there. And then you have the Tulare cluster. You have one in Turlock. So it's happening, right?
Yeah.
You got these, the environmentalists have been pretty hard on dairies, right, for carbon emissions. And
They can't quit.
They can't quit. No, they just won't stop.
They're trying to take every dollar out of their pocket.
Every dollar. I don't know. I don't even have an answer to this, right? With what these dairymen put into these dairies and how hard they work to control their cows and take care of their cows, their livelihood. But these digesters is one form, right, to get these carbon emissions down.
And hopefully produce a little more income for the dairymen, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of different revenue sources from it, right? From either generating power, generating off product, or gas or hydrogen. There's a lot of options with it. It's a great cluster, and construction on that side is going to be great. The other part of it is dairies are getting bigger, right? There's the small family farm has kind of changed its configuration a little bit, and they're getting bigger. There's more technology, rotary milk barns, new parlors, new stalls.
Are you building barns?
We're building milk barns.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a couple milk barns going right now.
You built any rotaries?
We're getting ready to do a new rotary right now.
Awesome.
So it's we got there's a lot of different things in the works, right? So you got rotaries going in, you got new parlors, new parallels, you got new facilities, big loafing barns is like the big kick right now. Get cows out of the free soil. Yeah, cow comfort.
Cow comfort. Yeah.
Installing a lot of fans and cow soakers, and soakers are a funny thing in California when there's limited water source, right? So they're getting more creative with ways to cool these cows, and that's not always an invention thing. So as far as ag construction goes, I could see it going strong for years to come, right?
Good.
Because it's constantly changing, constantly developing, constantly needs to be upgraded. New, produce lines, right? I mean, that has to be installed, it has to be constructed. So trades-wise, there's going to be a good need, right, for a long time. And construction is really lacking a lot of talented trade right now, skill, labor. And, these young guys that are getting in there, I just talked to this young man. He worked for me for the summer, and he's going to be one of the most successful, talented young men to come in the future. I could see it, right? And I'm telling him, you need to be in a trade. You need to get back into construction. This thing's going to work. And he wants to go be a lineman. And I'm like, you don't want to be a lineman. You want to be a contractor.
Hopefully he listens to you on this.
I hope so. I think he's going to be fantastic. You'll be hearing about him in years to come. So he'll be on your podcast.
You only hear about him if he makes, but he's got to make that choice.
Got to make that choice.
Yeah,
right?
and that's a hard choice.
You're 18 years old, and I remember when I was 18 years old, I made some choices that I honestly, and Ben's laughing, these choices went and got me where I'm at today.
Where you were going to get a new fake ID to get in the bar? Or...
I had multiple fake IDs. I didn't need a new one. Yeah. And there was a couple bars in Merced that you didn't need an ID.
Yeah.
Like I was 16 years old. They didn't care. But
let him in.
Yeah, let him in. He's a good tipper.
Yeah.
Let him in. So, and he can fix the broken sink in the back. So let him come in here and do it.
Screws anything up, make him fix it.
That's right. He needs some new concrete. Let him in. So, yeah, when I was 18, I made some choices that sent me on different paths, right? I was supposed to go to Fresno State. I had all these scholarships. I had the fastest bike in Pismo that was paid for all by scholarships. I blew all my scholarship money on this drag bike, right? And then I failed out of college the first year. I mean, it's not something I'm proud of, but it set me straight, right? I made a lot of bad choices in life.
But you went back to college?
I went back to college. I got my environmental tech degree at Merced.
You really support Merced.
Merced College, yeah. Merced Junior College is their ag department, what they stand for, what they do, the people in there is amazing, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I ended up getting 3 degrees there. I don't know how it happened. I think maybe somebody just gave me one as pity, but I got this general ag degree, a diesel degree, and then I got an environmental technology degree, which was actually really cool. I got my contractor's license the same week. So I ended up, I got to use this environmental tech degree or this contractor's license. I took that. It was kind of a weird deal.
Awesome.
But so when I turned 18, I just wanted to work, put money in my pocket, and ride fast bikes and drive lower trucks and chase around. Be cool,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, that was my thing, and it worked out because when you're in construction, that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So. Construction is fun. Building, conceptualizing, like you were talking about it. I said you went away from the notepad, Matt, right? And you're talking to now you got budgeting teams and engineering teams. I'm like, holy shit. But I know what like Central does, and we kind of have the same program. I mean, a little different, but...
Yeah, so MIG was a small little deal, and now we got 45 guys, and we have 9 people on the management team. We have a great office manager named Jessica. She's been with me for years. Then we have an estimator. We have these project managers. And it's just influence pyramid, right, with foremans that are great, all the way down to the guy that comes in just for one day, right? These guys, we want them to be the best guy that can help us finish concrete. Yeah. And it's amazing, right? It's a family. A family, like a very dysfunctional family, but we're a family. And it's
no fist fights?
Oh, yeah. Well,
if you don't fight, it's not good. Yeah. It's not a good construction.
No. I mean, a good fight, like at least twice a week is good, right? You got to keep everybody on their toes.
Absolutely.
And you do not want to have a birthday around MIG construction. I mean, it is. You can ask Brandon. It's his birthday today. He's one of my guys, been with me 10 years. I think he went home pretty upset today, but he'll be
what
back
happened? Give me one birthday story.
Okay, so one birthday story. All right, so here's the deal. At MIG Construction, if it's your birthday, they're either going to kick your ass or you're going to get soaking wet, right? So
no matter how cold it is,
it depends. It depends on who the person is, right? So if my dad's birthday, he's definitely going to get wet, right? If it's one of these young, like the 18-year-old kid, if it's his birthday, he's probably going to get a punch in the gut and soaking wet, right? Just a little bit to go home with. So yeah, today was Brandon's. He's been here 10 years. He's got a little bit of seniority, right? He's a great right-hand man, and And we're out there at your cousin's this morning, first thing this morning, fixing his water pipe. He's hanging over a hole, and they took his whole their entire ice jug of water and just dumped it right down his back first thing this morning. And I think it was about 5:45 this morning. So he's soaking wet at 5:45 a.m. Then I get a picture at about 11. He's on a different job site, and my dad actually got him wet, which is a big deal when my dad gets somebody wet. Like, and it's the old man coming. The old man's coming out swinging, right? It's always a big deal. But we've had some pretty good birthday ones where guys running across the shop and don't see the pole sticking out when they're running away from somebody and get caught. And
that's so fun.
Yeah,
that's what makes work fun. I always think like you gotta have that atmosphere, and guys don't want to leave. I mean, I feel that way. Like if I'm having fun.
Oh yeah, every Friday morning we have a safety meeting. I've been getting donuts for these guys 15 years. Every Friday morning we meet up and we get in a big old circle in our shop, and we go around one by one, and I call everybody by name and ask them what's going on. And we talk about stuff. Usually if it's your birthday, like guys will call in sick. That's how much it gets like intense around there. Guys will call in sick. But if it's your birthday, I make a big deal. They get a gift card. They get all kinds of stuff. If there's somebody that needs some prayers, somebody needs some support, we get that, we bring that up. Usually, we try to keep it really lighthearted, but we're also in an industry that's extremely dangerous, right? Yep. I mean, we're in construction. Guys lose limbs, guys fall. So we do take the silliness and the craziness,
to a certain
point, yeah. But definitely, it's a different breed of cats, right? And I wouldn't go any other way. These guys are awesome, right? This is how the difference between Ben and I is the guys that I'm around every single day and the guys he's around every day is a totally different breed of animal,
Yeah.
Right.
So
Ben's got to be a little babysitter probably a lot of times, huh?
No, it's all right. I'm not a babysitter.
Ben,
it's all right.
You mentioned you have two sons.
Yes.
And I have a son, and I get to enjoy. He's only 3 right now, but I get to take him out on the ranch and things like that. As you got to work on the dairy with your dad the whole time, are you getting to involve your kids out on the ranch with you? And
it's a little tougher,
okay.
I mean, it's a little tougher. My dad doesn't own the business, but I'm not super close to home, so if they run out of gas, they get, And I do when I can on a Sunday or something, I'll throw them in the tractor with me and let them run on the Steiger or whatever, get on something and show them, how it goes. But I try to do it at home. I got a little yard and do some hand weeding and gardening, and they like to be outside and goof off, So, they walk around with their fake flip phone, speaking Spanish, as they say.
Really?
Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm talking to the guys.
That's funny.
They act like dad, but it's okay. I mean, they're good though.
Yeah.
It's fun. This is the best age for, I think, dad there is going to be. I think that before there's any good fights.
They still like you at this point.
They still like me. They're done with, mom has done her job and she did an excellent job. Now it's dad's turn to take these little boys and try to make them grow up and
be men,
respect, everything that they do and the people they're around. So
that's
fun.
That's what I when you reached out to me, I get quite a few people will reach out. Hey, thank you for, the podcast. We enjoyed it, or hopefully they enjoyed it. Maybe a lot of people tell Cassandra they hate it, or our team. That's fine. Whatever. I'm used to it. Kick me in the balls. But when you said
should have
that,
been in construction too.
Yeah,
Then.
ain't nothing. My dad, man. I thought about you guys. Just I know what reputable people respect you guys are, and we talked in the beginning. I just think it's important. That's why I asked you about your kids, and you're training them at home, and I'm sure sooner than later they'll be on the ranch with you. When they're old enough, you don't got to run them home to mom if there's a big problem. But I think it's so important. And kind of closing things out is the way you guys were raised, the way I was raised. It's not as easy to do that today.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree. I have a friend, Craig Arnold. I don't know if you know Arnold Farms in Atwater. Him and I are trying. Him and I are the same age, and he's got kids our age. Same age. And Matt, we all grew up together, 4-H and high school, and he's like, I got to spend more time with the kids because it's different, you know. The cows raised us,
Yeah.
you know. We went out and my dad wasn't next to us all the time. You can't do that anymore.
No.
You got social media. You have different influences, a lot more electronic devices, distractions. You know, the world's not the same, even in just a short
it's a
period
little
of time.
bit easier for me to bring like my boys out to do some construction work.
Yeah.
It is. Like my oldest son Max, he can pour some mud. Like he can run a float, and he's 8, right?
That's awesome.
And then he can run the Bobcat, and you got Evan who can climb some things, right? He's gonna be a great iron worker. This kid has no fear, right? And it's a little bit different with the farming now, with the way things are, right? And the dairies,
A lot of
and
moving
the
parts.
construction. I could throw them out there, you know. I put them in a yellow vest and a hard hat, and then tell them, you know, only every other word can be a cuss word.
Yeah.
You can't use every word as a cuss word. So that's
So here's a
it's
good
little-
story about a 5-year-old with a really good perspective on life already. So my youngest Gio comes up to Bree and I, and you know, with the whole school and COVID and everything going on, whatever. I don't think he's gonna be my school student. My oldest is brilliant, but my youngest, he says, hey mom, I don't need to go to school. Just teach me how to run Uncle Matty's Bobcat and how to speak Spanish, and I'll be okay.
Dude,
I swear to
he's
God,
on to
this is
something right there. I'm
I
telling
go. You don't. I guess he's right. He goes, you don't have to go to school to be successful. He told me, like, what are you saying? He goes, yeah, serious as a heart attack. Just said, I need to learn how to run Uncle Matty's Bobcat, and I'll speak Spanish, and then I'll go to work.
It's a big debate. It's a big debate in my house because I'm a big advocate for trade, right? Now, education is important. My wife's a school teacher, and she's an amazing teacher. But I'm also a big advocate for teaching somebody how to use their hands, right? No, you're going to go change your own tire on your bike. I don't care if you can walk or not. You're going to go figure out how to do that, right? Because
See, I was the guy who was good at negotiating with making the guy fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned negotiating skills on how to get out of things.
no, we got all that in the Migliazzo
Yeah.
family. We
Well,
got my brother John
John
can
was-
negotiate
yeah,
anything.
John,
You know,
yeah.
Ben had the green thumb.
Yep.
He can grow anything, right? And then they go to me like, "Hey, Matt, can you fix this?" Or I probably broke it in the first place and told them that they broke it, you know, type thing.
So I guess it's just a big challenge that, you know, if we could come out with something, not only what you guys have done and accomplished, but I guess at the end, you know, we all had similar upbringings, and which was fun. And now we're all fathers, and now we're all in ag businesses that we all love tremendously. And how do we transition that and pass that torch on? You know, and I think that's a complicated matter at times, right? For all of us. But hopefully anybody who's listening knows what these guys have done, how they were raised, how they've busted their ass in different fields than they grew up in and have been very successful. And now they have sons that they're pushing to. Matt's already got his son out there. Ben's training his kids how to, you know, garden at home, and sure, they'll be on the farm with him sooner than later. And same with me. I get to take my son on Saturday, but it's not every day like I was raised, just thrown out there. So I guess it's a challenge to all of us and fathers to keep this going because it's special, right? We've had special lives.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've been. It's a gifted life to be raised in ag. You
Yep.
know, and these guys don't understand. It's a very gifted life. Like even my kids, you know, I don't have the dairy to bring them out to, but I have job sites on dairies to bring them
Yep.
out to every day. It's a gifted life. I mean, no matter how hard it is, everybody can complain about, you know, the way life is, you know, how you have to go 7 days a week and it never stops. But there's no better blessing than, you know, waking up every single day with either a rooster or a cow or, you know, your mom hitting you with
Shit
the broom
hitting
to
you
get
in the face,
outside.
whatever.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
so
like,
we never had friends that came over and visited.
no,
when we were little.
nobody wanted to hang out at our
No
house.
one wanted to hang out
Gotta go
because
they
wash
had to
the-
get up and work.
And we had to go
wash
scrub
the
the
barn,
stalls
yeah.
in the morning. And all my friends that came over one time, and then that was the last time they ever came over. So
I totally understand. Big Doug kicked my butt out of bed early. Actually, my mom did. Yeah, she would kick us out, and you're gone. You know. So, but guys, I want to thank the Migliazzo brothers here from the Ag Center. You guys are special guys. I hope we can do this again. Hear where you guys are at in a while. We appreciate what you guys do in this ag industry, Merced County, and all over. So, cheers to you guys.
Yeah,
We call it the
cheers.
toast for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cheers. Thank you for
Brotherly
having me.
love. So, anyways, thank you guys, and the toast is out.